What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Honestly wasn't expecting to make a video for you guys today, but some news broke. Had to get my opinions out on it. Today is June 23rd, day of the draft. I was expecting to get some content out maybe in a few days after the draft. Maybe some winners, losers, stuff like that. You never know what'll happen tonight. But looks like you'll be getting a video today anyway. For those of you that don't know, some news dropped on Twitter about the Nets. I'll read it off for you guys. Tweet from Shams. Sources: Kevin Durant is monitoring the Brooklyn Nets situation and considering options with his future. This now opens the path for Kyrie Irving to proceed on finding a new home via opt-in and trade. And then a few minutes later, 4:10 p.m., I'll put it on the screen here, ESPN sources: if Kyrie Irving can't reach an agreement to stay with Brooklyn, he has a list of teams he'd like them to consider on sign-and trades, including Lakers, Clippers, Heat, Knicks, Mavs, and Sixers. None of these teams have cap space to sign him without Nets help. And wow, all I'm going to say is wow, that's some big fucking news. More so the Kevin Durant aspect of things. A lot of people, obviously, all signs are showing that he does want out. So the Kevin Durant thing is the thing that I'm more worried about, because even though Kyrie Irving wants to potentially become a Sixer, I personally don't want him. I'll get into that a little later. I have my eyes set on one Kevin Durant, because obviously it's fucking Kevin Durant. He likes Embiid. Apparently his relationship with Harden isn't too mangled. I think they could make it work. But obviously Kevin Durant didn't give a list. He might not even leave the Nets organization. It's all, he's doing it for himself, and I respect that. You got to look out for yourself, especially if you're one of these players in the NBA. Starting off with Kyrie Irving, a lot of these teams are teams I would expect. Lakers, obviously. Clippers, obviously. Big markets. Knicks, obviously. Heat, I can understand. I don't see how the Heat would be in on him. He doesn't really fit the Heat culture. Mavs, I guess I could see. Kyrie and Luka would be fucking sick. I'm not going to lie. Be very poor defensively, but that would be very insane on the offensive side of the ball. And then you got the Sixers. It would be cool. Obviously Kyrie Irving's pretty fucking good. I don't think the Sixers would have to give up Tyrese Maxey. Personally, as I said earlier, I don't really want it to happen. The Sixers have their own shit going on right now. I don't really think we need to add Kyrie Irving to that list. Obviously, when you have a player like James Harden, how polarizing he is, adding a player that's probably more polarizing in terms of the off-the-court issues. The Sixers don't need the media on them as much as they already have them on now. Kyrie Irving just is a beacon for media outlets. Sixers don't need that right now. They don't. As talented as he is, and I do love him as a player, they just don't need that right now. It is interesting to see the Sixers on this list because of the public perception of Kyrie Irving and James Harden's relationship. It seems like Kyrie Irving was kind of the reason that James Harden wanted to leave Brooklyn. The Sixers being on this list, however, it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, if by the grace of God it doesn't happen, but if it does happen, that Kyrie Irving is a Sixer, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But regardless, on the Kevin Durant side of things, he could go anywhere. He didn't give a list. And like I said earlier, he might not even leave the team. But I want him on the Sixers, and other teams obviously want him on their team. I've seen Celtics jersey swaps, Suns jersey swaps, even Clippers jersey swaps. I've seen all of them. I've seen all of them in like the hour and a half that this post or that this tweet has been out. He's been in every jersey imaginable. For good reason. He's a really good fucking basketball player. I love Kevin Durant. Wherever he goes, he will be able to fit like he fit in Golden State. He wants to win. I respect the hell out of that. Hopefully he's a Sixer, but I'm not going to, it's whatever. It's whatever. I'm not really focused on Kevin Durant right now. I'm more focused on the Nets as a whole because I was told personally, if the triumvirate of Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden when he was there were healthy, this team is going to win the finals. And obviously, they didn't have James Harden in this year's postseason. And obviously, Kyrie Irving was injured last season. But I'm going to take my victory lap. Actually, I'm not even going to say that. I'm glad they didn't win anything personally as a Sixers fan and as a fan of, I'd say, the underdog, quote unquote. I'm not a huge fan of these super teams to this extent where you have this mass of talented players. And I do like these players individually. I do like Harden individually. I do like Kyrie Irving individually as a player. And I do like Kevin Durant, obviously, as a player. One of the greatest scorers of all time. Them three together, it never really rubbed me the right way. But that's a different conversation. As a Nets fan, all three of you must be in peril right now. Because it seems like they're going down the road of when they trade Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, like 2012, 2013, 2011, maybe? 2010? It was probably 2012, maybe. 2013. It was one of those years. Cut me some fucking slack, okay? They mortgaged their future, the Nets did, for Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, and that ended horrifically. And it seems like they're doing the same thing for, I guess, James Harden. Yeah, James Harden. Because, for those of you that don't know, the Houston Rockets control the future of the Brooklyn Nets until 2027. Or I think through 2027. That's 4 or 5 years from now. If they walk away, which it seems like they will, they're obviously going to get stuff in via trades for both those players, but it's not going to be, obviously, it's not going to amount to what Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant could be. They're going to be going through a rebuild again, unfortunately. They won't have their own pick again, unfortunately. So Nets fans, I apologize. I'm really sorry. It seems like it's going to be happening again to you guys. But you guys have Ben Simmons, so, I mean, that's good, right? Ben 10. Now, obviously, nothing is set in stone here. There's a lot of stuff that could happen. Obviously, this information just came out a few hours ago. And NBA free agency is as volatile as it comes, as unknowing as it comes. So it wouldn't surprise me if some of this stuff changed or was released purposefully by camps, but for right now, the future is not looking bright for the Nets, and it seems like we're going to have a pretty intense offseason. Some bigger names than we thought are probably going to be on the move again. I think the Grizzlies could potentially be a dark horse for Kevin Durant. Obviously, their core is very solid. They made the Western Conference semis this year. And who knows what could have happened if Ja Morant could have stayed healthy. They're about a piece away from being a real deal title contender. They have a lot of young quality depth. Kevin Durant is definitely the player to put you over the top. I mean, one of the greatest scorers of all time definitely could put you over the top. I'm sure the Memphis Grizzlies front office is starting to have conversations now that this news is leaked. Just don't be surprised if anything happens, sending Kevin Durant to Memphis. Pretty sure that's all I can really think about right now in terms of this. My mind is going crazy right now thinking of all the hypotheticals that come along with this. That's all I've got for today's video. Definitely tell me in the comments below where you want to see Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant respectively on teams. If you like the video, obviously hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, obviously subscribe. Sharing helps as well. But other than that, guys, peace.